Good evening, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to once again to yet another supremely amazing one-shot session on the chapter Ecosystem. I hope you all can hear me properly. One-shot section on the chapter Ecosystem. I hope you all can hear me properly. One-shot section on the chapter Ecosystem. Yes, you're hearing some kind of a background score, that is a background sound. I'll tell you what is it right now. Okay, because it's something very important. Let's hope for the best. The background sound that actually you are hearing is the live Twitter live from IMH Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank. Okay, this is actually the Twitter live. I think almost all the other YouTube channels are going live with this live streaming. Okay, after the live ends, I'll take a short session on what's the summary of this particular live. Have he told any important dates or any syllabus reduction or anything? We'll inform you about it. Definitely. Okay, so right now we are moving on to our class on ecosystem. So can we move? Give me hearts on the screen and let's move on to this amazing chapter of ecosystem, which is one of the very important chapters and an easy chapter of your class 12. Yes. I hope you all can hear me. See the screen clearly. Can we start off with this topic, everybody? Yes. Thank you so much. This is an amazing Telegram group at BioPoint where we conduct regular discussion, polls, updates on the classes, OMR examination and everything. Those who are watching the session, don't forget to hit the like button, do share it with your friends and subscribe our wonderful YouTube channel of BioPoint, Stream the World of Bio. This is a crash course for NEET 2021 which is happening inside our Telegram group in the form of polls. And actually, almost we have covered close to 400 questions altogether in the past days. So let's get started with a supremely amazing chapter of ecosystem, which is an easy chapter, one of the very easy chapter and an important chapter of your NEET examination syllabus. So let's get started. Yes. Give me thumbs up on the chat box if everything is fine and clear for everybody. If everything is fine and clear, give me hearts on the screen, everybody. Yes, I hope my sound is clear, the video is clear, everything is clear. So let's move on. This is a one-shot session, so let's get started. So mainly, what is an ecosystem? Ecosystem means there is an interaction. Okay, ecosystem means it is a place of interaction between living things and non-living things. Okay, living things, that is things having life, and those things which do not have a life. So actually ecosystem is the interaction of living things and non-living things, or in other terms you can call it as to be biotic and abiotic components. Okay, the interaction between biotic components and the abiotic components can be referred to as the ecosystem. Okay, so mainly we are classifying the ecosystem into three, that is terrestrial ecosystem, aquatic ecosystem and man-made ecosystem. What do you mean by terrestrial ecosystem? For example, you have forests, grasslands, deserts are all examples of terrestrial ecosystem. What is the term terrestrial referred to? Terrestrial means it is a land. Okay, so terrestrial ecosystem means it is a land ecosystem, which actually some of the examples are forest, grassland and desert. Next you have the aquatic ecosystem. The aquatic ecosystem means what? Aquatic ecosystem means those that are coming in the water. That is, it includes pond, lake, wetland, river, estuaries, etc. are examples of aquatic ecosystem. Next, you have the man-made ecosystem. For example, the crop field. What do you mean by crop field? The agricultural lands. Okay, the agricultural field and all, they can be considered as what? Man-made ecosystem. And also aquarium, that we all, in all, almost everybody's house, we have this aquarium and all. So all these are examples of different types of ecosystem, that is forest, grasslands, desert, pond, lake, wetland, river, estuaries, crop field, aquarium. All these are different types of what? Ecosystem. Is my writings on the screen clear? Is my writings on the screen clear? Yes. Thank you so much. Let's get moved on to the next part of this session. Is it everything is fine for everybody? Yes, thank you so much. Next, what do you mean by stratification? One of the important terms coming next in this chapter is the stratification. What do you mean by stratification? Stratification means it is actually the vertical distribution of different species occupying different levels in an ecosystem. For example, you have different groups of things such as grasses, then you have herbs, then you have shrubs, then you have trees, like this. So each of them, that is in the tall order: grass, herbs, shrubs, trees and all. Right. So this is actually the vertical distribution of different species occupying. Look how all these things are arranged over here. Look how these are arranged over here. You will have some plants may be tall up to this level, some may be tall up to 17 meters, some may be 29 meter, some may be 38 meter or more. So depending upon their height and their habitat, they are distributed different. The plants belonging to different species are distributed at different levels, which is actually referred to as the process of stratification. Give me hearts on the screen if it's clear. Give me hearts on the screen if the point of stratification is clear for you. Yes, thank you so much. What about Nila? Is it clear? Is it clear? The process of stratification, is it clear? Or do you want me to explain it once again? Please tell me, I'll explain it. Okay, so let's get moved. For example, the trees occupy the top vertical strata. The trees occupy the top vertical strata. Look, in the stratification done by me also, the trees occupy the top vertical strata or a layer of forest. The shrubs occupy the second, the herbs and grasses occupy the bottom layers because they are in the lengthwise they are below. So the vertical distribution of different species occupying different levels is called stratification. And depending upon their height, especially for an easy way of understanding, I'm telling you, depending upon their height, you can classify them as grasses, herbs, shrubs, and trees. We all know that the trees occupy the top vertical strata, or a forest occupy the top vertical strata, and the shrubs occupy the second level, and the herbs and the grasses would be in the bottom layers. Clear? Let's get more. Some of the basic components of ecosystem. Some of the basic components of ecosystem we are discussing. The first term is productivity. The first term is productivity. What do you mean by productivity? Productivity means it is a constant input of solar energy is the basic requirement for any ecosystem. What do you actually mean by productivity? Please comment me on the chat box. In a simple way, what do you mean by productivity? What do you mean by productivity? What is actually productivity? Yes, I got an answer. Yes, production. Productivity, same meaning as that of production. Productivity means the production of food or any other substances that is necessary. So for that, especially for the plants to prepare food, they need what? Solar energy, which is an integral part, right? Solar energy is a basic requirement. What do you mean by primary productivity? What is the term primary productivity refers to? The amount of biomass or organic matter produced per unit area over a time period by plants during photosynthesis. What do you mean by primary productivity? It is the amount of biomass or the organic material which is produced by the plants, which is spread over a given area in a given amount of time, that is directly prepared by photosynthesis. That is the amount of food which is prepared by the plants by photosynthesis is referred to as the primary productivity. Is it clear? The chat box is remaining silent. Give me thumbs up on the chat box, everybody. Give me thumbs up on the chat box if the definition for productivity and primary productivity is clear. And if you need me to explain it once again, tell me once again, I'll explain it. Yes, it's clear. So primary productivity means it is the amount of biomass or the organic matter produced per unit area, that is produced in a unit area, that is in any area you will have the production. So production of biomass by the plants by the process of photosynthesis at a given time in a given area. It is expressed in terms of weight or it can be expressed in terms of energy. If the primary productivity, the units is very important question, guys. The definition is previous year MCQ. The next two statements are also previous year MCQ question. So the primary productivity can be explained either in terms of weight or in terms of energy. If they are expressed in terms of weight, their unit is per gram square. Per gram square, if it is expressed in terms of weight, or if it is expressed in terms of energy, its unit is kilocalorie per meter square. Kilocalorie per meter square if it is expressed in terms of energy. If it is expressed in terms of weight, it is gram per square. Per gram square is the unit. The rate of biomass production is known as productivity. Okay, the rate of organic matter production or the rate of biomass production is referred to as productivity, and the unit of productivity is per gram square per year. Per gram square per year. For example, it is written like this: per gram square per year, or kilocalorie per meter square per year. Kilocalorie per meter square per year. Okay, since it can't be typed, I haven't got time to get it typed. What happened? It's a small mistake. That's why I written it again in order to make it clear for you. Yes, it's clear. Give me hearts on the screen if it's clear for everybody. If it's clear for everybody, give me hearts on the screen. Come on. Productivity, the rate of production of biomass. Next, it is expressed in terms of per gram per year or kilocalorie per meter square per year. Then primary productivity is the amount of biomass or organic matter produced per unit area by the plants in a unit time during photosynthesis. It is expressed in case of weight as per gram square or energy kilocalorie per meter square. So that's all about the primary productivity. Yes. Next, moving on to some other important things, some important terms. Each term is a previous year NEET question. Okay, previous year NEET AIMS question papers. NEET AIMS AIPMT question. Okay, be careful about it. The first term is the gross primary productivity. I hope you might have studied this in your class 12. So you'll be easily getting out the points over here. Right? Yes. So gross primary productivity. What do you mean by gross primary productivity? It is a rate of production of organic matter during photosynthesis. Okay. Gross primary productivity is similar that of primary productivity. That is the rate of production of organic matter by plants during photosynthesis. The plants, exactly like human beings, the plants may also have respiration, some other metabolic activity and all, where they needs what energy, right? So a little amount of organic matter in the form of energy is taken out by the plants in case of respiration. That is, an equation comes up over here. Gross primary productivity is equal to respiratory gross primary productivity minus respiratory rate is equal to what? Net primary productivity is equal to what? Net primary productivity. Is it clear? Once again, everybody's eyes on the screen. Gross primary productivity. After gross primary productivity, it is the total amount of biomass which is produced by the plants during photosynthesis. A certain amount of energy is lost or utilized by the plants during the process of respiration by the plants. So the rest of biomass or the organic matter left after the respiratory loss, you will call it as what? Net primary productivity. You will call it as what? Net primary productivity. Let me take out a blank slide to explain it to you in detail. Yes. Listen very carefully, guys. Very carefully. Gross primary productivity. What do you mean by net primary productivity? It is the amount of biomass which is left in the plants after respiratory losses. So net primary productivity is equal to gross primary productivity minus respiratory loss. NPP is equal to GPP minus R. What do you mean by NPP? NPP means net primary productivity. What do you mean by GPP? GPP means gross primary productivity. And what do you mean by R? R means the respiratory loss in the plants. R means what? It is a respiratory loss. Is it clear why everybody is remaining silent on the chat box? Give me hearts on the screen if it's clear. Give me hearts on the screen if it's clear for everybody. Yes. So that's all about the net primary productivity and the gross primary productivity. Okay. So net primary productivity is the available biomass for the consumption by the heterotrophs and decomposers also. Yes, absolutely. NPP is equal to GPP minus R. That is the amount of biomass which is left out in the plants for the process. After the process, they have to give it to the animals, right? So the amount of organic material or the biomass that is left out in the plants to give out to the animals is known as net primary productivity. So another definition, gross primary productivity minus respiratory loss is known as NPP or net primary productivity. Next, you have the secondary productivity. We are till here we studied about the primary productivity, right? Primary productivity. Primary productivity means the amount of biomass produced by the plants by the process of photosynthesis. And now we are going to discuss about the secondary productivity. What do you mean by secondary productivity? It is a rate of formation of new organic matter by the consumers. That is, what is consumers? Consumers is always what? Animals, right? So the rate of formation of new organic matter by the consumers or animals is known as secondary productivity. The annual net primary productivity of the whole biosphere is approximately 170 billion tons of dry weight of organic matter. 2014 AIPMT question. Okay, 2014 AIPMT question. The total annual net primary productivity of the whole biosphere is approximately 170 billion tons of dry weight. Clear. And the productivity of the ocean is 55 billion tons. Previous year MCQ question. Previous year MCQ questions, 170 billion tons of dry weight of organic matter in the whole biosphere. 55 billion tons is in the ocean. Is it clear? Give me thumbs up on the chat box, everybody. Yes. So let's move on to the next slide. The next process is decomposition. The next process is what? Decomposition. What is decomposition? Just comment me in a simple definition on the chat box, everybody. Everybody comment me as a simple definition of decomposition on the chat box. Everybody in your own words. Yes, just comment me. What do you mean by decomposition? Yes, I got an answer. Breakdown of complex substance into simpler ones by bacteria. Yes. One more definition I should get on the chat box. 2 people watching. Yes, come on, just irrespective of whether your friend has given the answer or not, just comment out what was your answer. Just that's it. You know in a simple definition what is decomposition, so just type it out. Yes, hope answer would come right now. Let's get move. So decomposition is the breakdown of complex organic material. Complex organic matter by decomposers. This decomposers can be either bacteria, fungi, or any other microbe. Okay, or any other microbe can act as a decomposer. Clear? Any other microbes that helps in the decomposition is referred to as what? Decomposers. Absolutely, breaking down of complex matter into inorganic substances like carbon dioxide, water, and nutrients is referred to as the process of decomposition. Good. So, it is largely an oxygen requiring process. Previous year AIMS MCQ question. Decomposition is an oxygen consuming process or an oxygen requiring process. Previous year AIMS MCQ question. Okay. Raw material for decomposition is the detritus should be there. What do you mean by detritus? Means the decomposing matter. That can be either be dead remains of plants such as leaves, bark, flowers, or the dead remains of animals including fecal matter can act as detritus. In the lower classes, we told it as the raw materials or the things which are to be decomposed, biodegradable substances. But in your 12th standard knowledge, you have to comment the answers as detritus. The requirement, what is the major requirement for decomposition? It is the detritus, which means the waste material which is gonna decompose. Is it clear? Give me hearts on the screen, everybody. Give me hearts on the screen, everybody. Yes, thank you so much. So, this is the process of decomposition. What is it? The older plants die. The older plants die. It may, what? Dead plants will get decomposed. That is a soil organism. Feed on dead plants, rotting them down to humus. The humus contains certain nutrients which is taken up by the living plants over in the nearby areas to grow. Okay, so we already know that the death of one organism would be beneficial for the other thing, right? The dead remains of animals can also facilitate the growth of plants. Dead remains of plants can facilitate the growth of other plants also. So this is an important table. Steps of decomposition. Steps of decomposition, fragmentation. So there are mainly 5 steps of decomposition. I'm going to explain each one in detail to you. Fragmentation first step, leaching second one, catabolism, humification, mineralization. Just comment me the first one on the chat box. Everybody repeat it along with me. Which is the first one? Which is the first one? Which is the first one? Fragmentation. Fragmentation, leaching, catabolism, humification, and mineralization. Humification and mineralization. Is it clear? Is it clear for everybody? Yes, absolutely, IO scored. Fragmentation, leaching, catabolism, humification, and mineralization are the different steps involved in the process of decomposition. Let's move on to the first one, that is fragmentation. Fragmentation. What do you mean by fragment? Means it has to be, the material have to be broken down into similar units. Right? Absolutely, Nila. Very good. Fragmentation, leaching, catabolism, humification, and mineralization. So, the fragmentation means the detritus, that is the material which has to be broken down, is converted into small particles, or they are converted into small fragments. They are converted into small fragments by the action of detritivores. The organism which helps in the breakdown of detritus, you will call it as detritivores. For example, earthworm. So detritus is converted into smaller particles by the detritivores such as earthworm. Then you have the process of leaching. What is leaching? Leaching means the water soluble nutrients are converted into soil horizon. Okay, that is the water soluble inorganic nutrients are precipitated as unavailable salt. Okay, in certain areas you will have the appearance of salt, right? Have you heard about it? Have you heard about it? In the top of the soil you will avail the what availability, you will have the availability of certain salts that remain as precipitations, right? So that process you will call it as the process of leaching. Third one, you have the process catabolism. Catabolism, I have already told you whenever I told you about the living world chapter itself a few months ago. Catabolism and anabolism. Catabolism means breaking down. Anabolism means building up, right? So, catabolism means it's a breaking down. So, the detritus is again broken down into similar inorganic substance by certain enzymes. Okay, by the action of certain enzymes and fungal activity or bacterial activity, what happens? The detritus or the matter is converted into similar inorganic substances. Next, you have the humification. Humification means accumulation of humus, the production of humus. What is humus? It is a dark colored amorphous substance in the soil. You might have all seen what is humus, right? You might have all seen what is humus. Am I right? Give me hearts on the screen if you have all seen about it. Yes. So humus is resistant to microbial action and so decompose very slowly. Being colloidal in nature, oh my god. Being colloidal in nature, it serves as a reservoir of nutrients. Previous year MCQ question. Previous year MCQ question. Okay, it is colloidal in nature, so it serves as a reservoir of nutrients. Humus act as a reservoir of nutrients. Next, you have the process, the last process of mineralization. That is a release of inorganic nutrients due to the degradation of humus by some microbe. Okay, and it is leading to the decomposition. It is the last step involved in the process of decomposition. Yes, it's clear. Yes. Let's check how many slides are left out. Yes, guys, we have so many. We have reached only 11. We have 29 slides. Okay, we have 29 slides. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. What are the factors influencing decomposition? Very, very important. What are the factors influencing decomposition? What are the different factors? Let's have a look about it. First is the chemical composition of the detritus. Very, very important MCQ question in your NCERT textbook. It is given as a paragraph. So I have made it as a table in order to make it clear for each one of you watching the session right now and those who are going to watch it also. Okay. So if the detritus particle contains lignin and chitin, it is the decomposition rate will be very slow. If the particular detritus contain nitrogen, the decomposition rate will be fast. If it contains water soluble substances also, the decomposition rate will be very fast. Next, certain climatic condition also influences the process of decomposition. For example, warm and moist environment increases the rate of decomposition. Low temperature slows down the process of decomposition. Anaerobic condition slows down the process of decomposition because we already told that decomposition is an aerobic process that requires a large amount of oxygen, that consumes a large amount of oxygen. So have a look at these three things which is very, very important, which are frequently repeated previous year NEET AIMS MCQ question. Okay, what are the different factors influencing the process of decomposition? Is it clear? Yes. So let's move on to the next topic, energy flow. So we have discussed about the three steps, that is about the productivity, then decomposition. Third, we are going to discuss about the energy flow, and last we will be discussing about the nutrient cycling. So, of the incident solar radiation, less than 50% of the photosynthetically active radiation. So, out of the, you will think that all the sunlight falling onto the plants, all the sunlight falling onto the plants would be absorbed. No. Plants only capture about the all sunlight falling, 50% only will be photosynthetically active. And among this 50%, the plants would take out only 2 to 10% of the PAR. What do you mean by PAR? Photosynthetically active radiation. Clear? So the plants capture only 2 to 10% of the photosynthetically active radiation. And based on the source of nutrition of food, organisms occupy a specific place in the food chain at the trophic level. At the trophic level. Each trophic level, very, very important statement I'm going to tell next, which is a very frequently repeated previous year MCQ question. Each trophic level has a certain mass of living material at a particular time, which you will call it as the standing crop. Which you will call it as the standing crop. Okay, standing crop. Frequently repeated MCQ question. The standing crop is measured as the mass of living organism or the number in a unit area. And what do you mean by ecological efficiency? 10% of the energy is transferred to each trophic level from the lower trophic level. Let me take out a blank slide to explain this particular thing for you. Yes. Can you all see the screen? Is it visible to everybody? Yes. Let's consider, and now I'm going to tell you or explain to you about the energy flow mechanism. Okay, I'm going to explain about the energy flow mechanism. Okay, so before that, we have to consider a food chain. Look, plants, we write it very clearly, plants. From plants, the plant is eaten up by the grasshopper, you suppose. Not grasshopper, I'll take a very few animals. Plants is eaten up by the deer. Okay, the deer is eaten up by the lion. Okay, this is a symbol food chain. This is actually a symbol food chain. A series of organisms eating and being eaten up. A symbol food chain. Suppose or imagine that the sunlight is falling onto the plants and the plants have an energy of 1000 joule. Okay, the plants have a total energy of 1000 joule. So this 1000 joule, when it comes on to the case of next trophic level, 10% energy is lost. That is 1000 divided by 10, which is 100 joule of energy will only be available to the deer. From deer, when it goes into the lion, again one more 10% of energy out of 100 is again lost. That is in the lion, it would be 10 joule. Clear? So this is we telling that the flow of energy in a food chain is always unidirectional as it follows the 10% energy low. As it always follows the 10% energy low. Hearts on the screen if it's clear. Hearts on the screen if it's clear. Yes. So that's about the process of energy flow. Look, 10,000 kilocalorie, 1000 kilocalorie, 100 kilocalorie, 10 kilocalorie, 1 kilocalorie. Right? Yes. So let's move on to the next topic, that is the ecological pyramid. Ecological pyramid. Whenever pyramid term comes to your mind, this is a pyramid, right? You will always remember about the Egyptian pyramids and all comes to your mind, made up of sand directly into your mind, right? So ecological pyramid is actually the representation of a food chain in the form of a pyramid, right? Representation, that is producers, herbivores, carnivores, secondary carnivores, and the apex predators such as tiger, shark, moray eel, and all you will have over there. The base of each pyramid represents the producers, which is the first trophic level, while the apex represents the tertiary or the top level carnivores that feeds completely on the flesh only. Okay, so the ecological pyramids is the representation of a food chain. The form of a pyramid is known as ecological pyramid, and the base of the pyramid represents the producers, while the apex represents the tertiary or the top level consumers. The top level consumers. Clear? Yes. Let's move on to the next one. There are mainly three pyramids. So I'll first explain it to you, then we'll move on. There are mainly ecological pyramids can mainly be classified into three. Okay, ecological pyramids can mainly be classified into three. That is, first one is pyramid of number. Pyramid of number. Second one is the pyramid of biomass. Third one is the pyramid of energy. Okay, in this particular pyramids, what is happening is that the food is or the food chain is expressed by a pyramid like this. Okay, the lower level occupied by the producers, and the higher position occupied, the apex position occupied by the top carnivores. And in the lower level, you will have the producers, that is the plants, right? Yes. So always, in most of the cases, the energy, the pyramid is upright. Okay, the pyramid is always upright. But in certain cases of aquatic ecosystem and some terrestrial ecosystem, the pyramid can be inverted like this. Okay, so we have in detail to study about in which all cases it is upright and in which all cases it's inverted pyramid. So let's move on to each one of them in detail. First one is the ecological pyramid, which is actually the number pyramid of numbers. It shows the relative number of individual organisms at each trophic level. For example, we are going to discuss about a grassland ecosystem. This is a diagram which is extracted directly from your NCRT. I hope the clarity is there for the image and the writings. Pyramid of numbers in a grassland ecosystem. Only three top carnivores are supported in an ecosystem based on the production of nearly 6 million plants. Look, the base level is occupied by the primary producer, that is the plants, which is actually 6 million, approximately equal to 6 million. So it is actually taken up the higher. The next trophic level is the primary consumer, which may be a herbivores, that is nearly about 7 lakh. Secondary consumers 3 lakh. Then the tertiary consumers is 3. So just look at this diagram, because you can expect a diagram based question. They will give you this diagram along with these values. No need to by heart these values. Okay, so you have to understand that it is a pyramid of number in a grassland ecosystem. This was a previous year MCQ question for NEET examination. Okay, yes. So that's a number. It indicates the number of individuals in a particular trophic level. Next, second one is the pyramid of biomass. Pyramid of biomass represents the amount of living organic matter at each trophic level. It shows a sharp decrease at higher trophic level. Okay. So the pyramid of biomass represents the amount of biomass available at each trophic level, and at each trophic level, in the higher trophic level and all, they will have a sharp decrease in the biomass. So the primary producers 809 kilogram per meter square as per the dry weight. It reduced to 37, then 11, 1.5. So when it reaches at the higher trophic level, a sharp decrease in biomass is observed. So this is a pyramid of biomass which shows a sharp increase in biomass at a higher trophic level. Because the same sentence would be asked in your NEET examination, and you would be studying this as the pyramid of biomass. But the option may contain pyramid of biomass showing a deep increase, showing a sharp increase, showing very little increase, showing a sharp decrease. So the correct answer is pyramid of biomass that shows a sharp decrease in biomass. Okay. Next one is the pyramid of energy. Pyramid of energy. We already told that energy flow in a trophic level follows 10% energy conservation law. So it shows the relative amount of energy available at each trophic level. And one of the most important statement question, the pyramid of energy is always upright. The pyramid of energy can never be an inverted pyramid. As I already told you, I've shown you the diagram of an inverted pyramid. So pyramid of energy can never be inverted. It is always upright, because energy always flows from a lower trophic level to the higher trophic level, and some energy is always lost as heat. For example, 10,000 joule is available to the plants, 1,000 joule to the herbivores, 100 joule to the little carnivores, and 10 joule is available to the top carnivores or the tertiary consumers. So this is an ideal pyramid of energy. in which only the primary producers convert only 1% of the energy in the sunlight available to them. Clear? Hearts on the screen. Yes. Let's move on to the next one. We check how many things are left out. We have reached 19. We have 10 more slides in just next 10 or 15 minutes. Okay. Next, as I already told you, there can be some inverted pyramids. For example, the insects feeding on a big tree. The pyramid of number. Okay, this is actually the pyramid of number. Pyramid of number can be inverted in this case, that is insects feeding on a big tree. So it is an example of an inverted pyramid of number. Then the pyramid of biomass in a sea is generally inverted because the biomass of fishes far exceeds that of the phytoplanktons. Phytoplanktons is the primary producers. They are eaten up by the fishes, right? So the biomass of the fishes is more than that of the phytoplankton. So it is an inverted pyramid of biomass in a sea. So pyramid of number can be inverted in case if insects feeding on a big tree. Pyramid of biomass in a sea can be inverted because the biomass of fishes is far more exceeded than that of the phytoplanktons. Next, we are discussing about some limitations of ecological pyramids. Okay, some of the limitations of ecological pyramid. First one, it does not take into account the same species belonging to two or more trophic level. Right? For example, a bird. Okay, a bird may come as a primary a primary consumer. That is, it comes as a herbivore. Right? For example, let's take an example of crow. A crow may eat small seeds from the plant, which is a herbivorous character. So it occupies a second level in the trophic system. Then, if it flies away and goes to some other place and eats a meat, it occupies another trophic level also in that ecosystem. Right? So, the ecological pyramid have not taken into consideration about the same species belonging to two or more trophic level. It only assumes a simple food chain that almost never exists in the nature. It does not accommodate a food web. So, in all the cases, we were constantly drawing a simple food chain of nearly what 2 or maximum 3 or 4 organisms. It doesn't include that. It include only simple food chains. It includes only simple food chain. Okay, so the saprophytes are not included in ecological pyramid even though they play a vital role in the ecosystem. Okay, so these are some of the limitations of ecological pyramid. Tell me frankly whether you are understanding it or not. Tell me. Guys, tell me frankly whether the topics up to here, is it clear? Yes, thank you so much. What about Nila? Is it clear? Is the topic up to ecological pyramid limitation clear? Is it clear? Is Nila not here? Yes. So guys, from ecological succession onwards, we would continue in the next class. Okay. We'll take a small session also along with it. Most probably tomorrow itself, I'll make it completed. Ecological succession, you have the hierarch and the hierarch succession and all. Then the nutrient cycling, that is a carbon cycle and the nitrogen cycle. So these small topic, I think almost 5 or 6 slides are left out. It will be completed in the next few days. Not in the next few days, in the next class itself. And the other chapters which are left out in our class 12th would be completed in the upcoming days. as soon as possible, because before December I have to complete all the chapters of your class 12 except the 3 chapters of genetics, because January, in that complete month of January, we will be completing, no other topic will be taught, only genetics, principles of inheritance and variation, molecular basis of inheritance, and evolution. Okay, so these 3 topics would be done in detail in one complete month. Clear? So thank you. See you in the next class. Let me check whether the live of our education minister has ended. I think it's going on. 9.7k viewers are there. So see you in the next class with yet another important. If any important news comes over here, definitely I'll let you know. Yes. So bye bye guys. See you in the next class with yet another supremely amazing session. Take care everybody.